Stevie dim day. We in global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep. And some informer friend we lovely. We in global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek come here represent for. We in global TV. Check it.
Good evening, and welcome to Drive Time London on Studio 358, part of the Global Television Group. How we do? Nobody now run down for nothing. We not hide from anybody. When last time I see Juliet in a crowd? We have to ask, because a long time we not see them. Man shot dead after taking his stepdaughter to school. Boy, the looting and shooting at Jamaica. Go terrible, you know. Like and share the live for us, please. We're going to take a look into the falling away from grace of Andrew Holness regime. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome to Drive Time London. Shaletta Reed, Patricia Matthews, Yvonne Riley, good evening. Debbie Jarvis, TV, Beat and Teach. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I just keep my eye upon the papers as well, but it don't look like them have anything to say. Mainstream news kind of quiet as always. You would have thought the day after these reports came to the Parliament to be tabled, such report, you would have thought there's a big brouhaha in the media about it. Natalia, how you do? There's a big brouhaha in the media about it. Everybody is writing about it, discussing it, getting analysts to come and discuss. But no. Them rather gone sulky. They rather gone sulky. But then you have People's National Party supporters. A lot of them don't have no shame. You have people like Abka Fitzhenley, who is batting hard for a seat in the representative. Because the whole of them know where the cash cow is. And all of them aspire to the cash cow. Because that money, that trickle down money, that awarding of contract, and that's someone who run after you. It's really bitanti to Agwan. It's really that someone who run from, not run from, run for, to get the perks of running a constituency, the constituency development fund, and all the other monies and contact and networking we're gonna gather out of being an MP. Uno could have go there hungry. Uno could have go there hungry till you can't hungry anymore. Just bat your eyelid after you reach there. Neck turn big, belly turn big, and all sort. You just have to look pan Flight Green, Matthew Samoda, along the Terry, my girl, that she. Just look at them before they came to power and look at who they are now.
I truly believe our political system needs some fixing. Too much you hear about corrupt politicians and nothing happen. Too much you hear about politicians who take away poor people money and none of them reach in jail. And to the young people at home or wherever you are, and to all Jamaicans, I have one question for you. Take a look at your communities. Take a look at the sliding dollar. Take a look at the failing healthcare and ask yourselves, where is the progress? Where is the progress that this arrogant and disrespectful government keeps talking about? With this existing callous government, matters have gone from bad to worse.
Yes, with the existing callous governance of Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party. I'm live. I'll call you back when I'm done. I'm doing Drive Time London. Yes. The callous behavior of Andrew Holness and his regime matters in our country, if the truth be told, has gone from bad to worse in it. Because if you talk to the Labour right them, they make you think FinSAC was the biggest open disgrace of the Jamaica Labour, of the People's National Party. But ever since this government came to power, it is scandal after scandal after scandal, with them being caught time and time and time again with their hands in the public purse. Yes, this government were the top tier, the top tier in our parliament and in our executive. Yeah, these are the thieves we're catching now. There's a lot more there. But the chief of the thieves and them four round Andrew Holness, we expect the Prime Minister, when the other four surface, we expect the Prime Minister to be one of them. Can Andrew Holness really continue to lead our country under this shadow that his government or himself is in? Well, after Niger preside, look how much Stephen Niger preside over. And he has been awarded. Nigel has presided over the devastation of the Jamaica economy. Of course, Nigel is awarded for that. He's been high scoffed and put into a position where he can do a lot more. He's given chance and opportunity to do a lot more dangerous things to developing countries. Of course, they've been awarded for their crime. That's why you see Andrew Holness determined him have a right to steal in the cockpit country because of him. Everything, every rule in this country, this Andrew Holness broke it since he came along.
Did the government seek legal advice on its decision to disengage with so-called sovereign maroons? And would the government not be derelict in refusing to finance projects in any such territories? And the companion question is whether the government finds it embarrassing that it seems that different arms of the state, that's the police and ODPEM, as we found out, gave approval to the hosting of the Maroon celebrations.
Your question is based on a very dangerous premise. And I said earlier that there are some threats that the average citizen looking on might think it is innocuous, it is popular, and take a liking to it, because the discussions that are held in places that should know better does not highlight the threat. Jamaica is a unitary, sovereign state. There is no other sovereign authority in Jamaica other than the government of Jamaica. I want that to be absolutely clear. None. And under my leadership, not 1 inch of Jamaica will come under any other sovereign authority. What you are asking would be another for the government of Jamaica to fund, take taxpayers' money and grant funds to fund another government. This is not a government saying they are a local government, a parish council government, which is under our constitution. Are you crazy? Really? Do you know what you're asking? This is the stuff of how guerrilla wars come and states break down. Wake up, Jamaica.
You are of the view that you cannot use the Jamaica government money, taxpayers' money, which the Maroon community pays in their general consumption to the government. But that same public money can be used to, one, commit crime in order to get the Prime Minister's special people into position of power. That same public purse can be continuously be swindled by this Prime Minister, his wife, and all of the cronies that hold this dictator up together. Yes. But let's listen to CVM and some of their analysts and whatever they think they are or want to be. But it is all falling apart. Like and share the live, please, while we listen a snippet of this together.
Playing. The announcement of one by-election for Northeast St. Anne has tongues wagging as to what the motivation is behind the decision to not have a by-election in South Trelawney, for instance, and of course Northwest St. Andrew by the time the Finance Minister leaves office by October 31. Many people say, well, Holness is exercising his prerogative under the Westminster system, controlling the destiny of the elections by making the right call at a time favorable to his party. But some are saying it is a bad political move and it is a waste of taxpayers' money. I'll get the political analysts to weigh in right now on Lead Story on CVM TV. Welcome to CVM's TV's Lead Story. My name is George Davis. So, a day after the announcement by the Prime Minister of a by-election in Northeast St. Anne, political hacks and commentators, two different groups, are chewing over the announcement. Central to the discussion is why the Prime Minister did not choose to have 3 by-elections in one go, a year out from when the next general elections are constitutionally due. Why one of a potential 3 and why no? What is the undue haste, it appears, to put Matthew Samuda into the House of Representatives when he was already a member of the legislature by virtue of being a senator and, of course, a minister, even though he was without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister? Far be it from me to tell you what the Prime Minister was thinking when he made the decision he made, which translated into the announcement on Wednesday. The political analysts are going to weigh into that in short order. But as usual, we have a package prepared for you to set the context for today's discussion.
Jamaica may not be known to have climatic seasons, but we do have seasons of widespread excitement like sports seasons and mango seasons. But it's the political season that has the most palpable national impact. There's a general election due by 2025, and the building blocks are being laid for an intense battle. The PNP is already asking the Prime Minister to call it. But why? Well, one would think it's because of the recent polls showing the political momentum on its side, and a disappointing outcome for Belmont Road in the February local government polls. The JLP goes back to the polls for a by-election in Northeast St. Anne on September 30, with more expected to come in St. Andrew Northwestern and Trelawney South. The party believes those by-elections are likely to be in its favor, with all 3 being in the bell column for but the PNP has its eyes set on a new cycle and will head into party conference next week, which is likely to be the last before the general election. So, can the PNP showcase an effective political theatre and policy platforms and pull off an electoral shift from shower to power? Or is the JLP full speed ahead on the prosperity train for a 3rd consecutive term? Let's discuss on this Lead Story.
Thank you, Curtin. Thank you, Jonathan, for preparing that. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear from political commentators Kevin O'Brien Jang and Dr. Nadine Spence.
No matter what you say the JLP people them come with, it is all falling apart. We're just waiting for the stream to come back from them break so we can hear what these so-and-sos said. But there is one thing that was said that I agreed with. it is that both parties must legislate when it comes to by-election. How long after a seat become vacant that we should make sure a by-election is called so the constituent can have meaningful representation, as we have seen the people of Trelawney for weeks, for over a year now, have no representation whatsoever. And the Prime Minister turned a blind eye to the whole situation and readily wants to get angry when journalists pose the question, why this one when we have so much outstanding? Why this one who is the last to become vacant? When there are others, but only because this one in particular is politically expedient for the Prime Minister, so he thought in whisking his way out of the collapse of his government.
This edition of Lead Story on this Thursday against the background of a report submitted to the Houses of Parliament by the Integrity Commission, and everything points to the Prime Minister being the subject of the Integrity Commission report. It's been political fodder for the opposition over several months now, the fact of the Prime Minister's statutory declarations, the status of same, and one waits with bated breath to see what the report will say when it is tabled in the Parliament when it resumes from its summer recess next week. It is scheduled to resume. So against that background, we're having this conversation about the start of the long sprint to next year when we go into the next general election. Kevin O'Brien Chang is with me, and so too Dr. Nadine Spence. Good afternoon. Good evening, Kevin. Good evening, Dr. Spence.
Hi, George.
Hi, Kevin.
All right. Ladies first. Dr. Spence, one by-election and not three. Holness is saying, look, I have the space and the freedom under Westminster to do as I have done. Nothing illegal about it, nothing unfair. Prime Ministers have done the same in the past. Nothing strange to see here. The PNP saying, no, it's an abuse and it's a waste of taxpayers' money. And we are not contesting because we don't believe in the principles under which this by-election is being held. How do you interpret it all?
It's a political script. Any party in power, any party forming government is going to employ tactics that are within the law, within the electoral law, within the constitutional law, to put itself at an advantage, as you call it, the political chess game. Any party in power would do that. Any party in opposition, if they find that they're going to be negatively impacted by a particular move, will protest. If we look at the United States, for example, the other day when Joe Biden pulled out and Kamala Harris took the leadership of the Democratic Party in terms of the presidential elections, that the Republicans started to complain that they had this plan. They had all kinds of responses to it because they saw it as putting themselves at a disadvantage. So I think it's part of the course of political parties and the democracies. That's how they are. This is, to me, it's part of the natural course of things. The government is going to do one thing, or the party in power is going to do one thing, and the party in opposition is going to protest if it feels that it puts them at a disadvantage.
Kevin, the PNP say they're standing on principle by not contesting this Northeast St. Anne by-election. Are you buying that?
By the way, George, are we political analysts or political hacks? You didn't define, you know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's hypocrisy. Both parties could easily...
Political hacks, in case you not answer you, Dennis, are we out of social media, yeah, him a talk about? Because uno appear on TV, uno a political analyst. And because we appear from back door, back road, or underground, we're political hacks.
In power, they could easily pass a law. Say, okay, after an MP resigns, 30 days after that, by election. Both have had a chance to do it, and they haven't done it. because they want to be, if I'm in power, I want to be able to do that. The PNP has done it, we know that. So it's just political hypocrisy, grandstanding, and makes the public even more cynical. You guys could change the law, and you haven't. Please stop with this garbage. They're not contesting on principle. Well, the PNP figures they can't win. And so if we lose, we're going to look a little bad, even though it's considered a safe seat for the JLP. It wasn't always. In 2001, when Shahini Robinson won in that by-election, it was a big, considered an upset at the time. She has somehow made it a JLP safe seat. I guess a good performance because Marsha Smith is certainly not very popular. But it's, I guess, a damp squib start to the long run-up, as you would say, because the PNP is not contesting. So this election will tell us nothing. I guess Matthew Samuda will be a good representative. He's a hard-working guy by all accounts. And I guess the JLP figures that get him in the seat now to work so that when the real election comes around, he can retain the seat for them. That's their hope, I would guess.
But further than that, Kevin, the fact of the PNP not contesting, Northeast St. Anne, as you've said, is somewhere they've not won since 1997. Danny Melville won it for them there. Then, of course, they lost it in 2001 to Shahini Robinson. Prior to that, only in 80 and 83 when Bobby Marsh won the 80 elections. And, of course, 83, the PNP didn't contest any seat. So the JLP won that back. But from 1959 forward, Northeast St. Anne was a PNP seat. So they didn't contest that because as you say, the history doesn't support them winning or suggest that they will win there. So isn't that the good political strategy? The opposition wants to give the Jamaican people the impression that it is the buoyant party. It says the polls are in its favor. Isn't it sound political strategy to find a way to avoid contesting Northeast St. Anne, stand on some principle, to not risk doing anything that can deflate the balloon of optimism at this time?
Yes, it's just common sense. I agree. It's common sense. We look like we're, have the momentum. If you believe the poll that Golding is more popular than Holness. So why risk that? Yeah, that's how politics is. But I maintain laws can easily be passed to prevent this kind of rubbish, and it is a waste of money. Why have one and you can have three at the same time? Because it suits the JLP and suits the Prime Minister. But why should that power be allowed to waste taxpayers' money? I maintain, I said this a few years back, about 5 years ago, when I remember Robert Morgan, that there's a by-election up there, and, if they should have the by-election then and all that. And I said the same thing as now. Pass a law, and the PNP, if they're not hypocrites, they can propose this law, the JLP can do it. 30 days after an MP resigns, election, by-election. If something can be done, but the PNP looks very hollow to this grandstanding morality and not doing anything to prevent it happening in the future.
Dr. Spence, the PNP made the point that Matthew Samuda was already a legislator. Why ask a legislator to resign to put him in a position to be a legislator all over again? And some believe that the Prime Minister ought to have come with a little bit more substantial explanation to the public at the office of the Prime Minister at that press briefing on Wednesday. What's your view on that?
Well, let's think about it. Matthew Samuda is a senator. He's not a member of the House of Representatives. So let's think about what that could mean. Nigel Clarke's term in office comes to an end on the 31st of October. You cannot serve as Minister of Finance if you are in the Senate, right? That's what the Constitution says. So might be there is something there for us to deliberate on, George, to think about what would that mean. Yes, he's now a minister. He's a member of the executive. He's a member of the upper house. He's a member of the Senate. He's not a member of the House of Representatives. He's not a member of the lower house. But the Prime Minister sees it fit at this time to clearly Marsha, what's her name?
Marsha Smith.
Yeah, she's not, clearly she wasn't going to go back. Matthew has been campaigning in that seat for a while.
Yes.
What is the chess game? We have to look at the moves and then begin to interpret from the Prime Minister's side. What could he potentially be thinking? Is it that he's going to move somebody from somewhere else and he needs some Samuda, but he wouldn't necessarily have to put him in the
The house.
in the house to do that.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
He could serve as a minister in any other ministry except finance. So could this mean something? Does he need to move him out of the Senate to move somebody else in the Senate to do something else, but perhaps it's not related to what is happening with the imminent departure of Nigel Clark? There's so many things that I find fascinating in terms of supposing what this could mean.
Yes.
In the grand theater of the political arena, it could mean a number of things beyond just the, realities around the election.
Yes, indeed. Let's take the break and come right back. Kevin.
What bothers me about these people who are possible political analysts rather than as opposed to us who are political hacks, you can never get a sensible statement out of them. Kevin and Nadine couldn't swirl around as much as they want, but I want to ask Kevin, do you think if the People's National Party bring a bill to Parliament at the moment as to what you're alluding to in having by-election at a set time after a seat becomes vacant, do you think that will ever make its way across the House based on the structure of our government as it stands? But me see one of the Labour right them over Twitter. No sorry or excuse can cover this. Can cover this one. This is as clear as day. The IC Jamaica, the Integrity Jamaica is leaking information to the PNP and must be investigated straight, and we are serious. Junkro. Wingless drunkroads, we're calling ourselves Labour right. It looks like a Henley a teaching because me see him a run around uselessly trying to defend stupidness. Uno shame. So till uno, my advice on what to do Labour right. You see one uno shame, draw on yourself under a bushel. Do the best you can. For nobody no soon. Where's the DK Duncan Boyaga Senate? Who will be a de facto prime minister, de facto finance minister? How that work beat and teach? Because him can't do it from over the Senate. I don't know. With anti-wholeness, any monkey story and any analysis story is possible. Because this whole political maneuvering, one, it doesn't make sense. Two, it cannot bail the Jamaica Labour Party out of what it's in. Gillette going is really not enough. And Wholeness will have to go as well. Uno calling for the Integrity Commission to be investigated. What uno hope to achieve out of it, or what do you think it will prove, even if somebody at the IC leak what's coming out of the report? What do you think the Jamaica Labour Party will hope to gain in the public spheres from that? I catch we catching our teeth, you know. I catch we catching our teeth. But the Prime Minister had do some old EPA calculation. You notice just weeks before the report comes out, what the Prime Minister do with we? Turn up the violence in the country on us. Because he knows when the violence turn up in the country, the people of Jamaica are distracted by everything else. Prime Minister will look upon everything. Hold on there. Andrew will be the finance minister in cabinet, and Duncan will be the de facto. But can he do that? Because he would have to name him without portfolio, or Andrew just have to put him in a Senate and Andrew a front. Andrew and him name a front the job while Duncan Simmet do the work. DKN Duncan boy do the work. Me don't know. But any part of that though, yes, Andrew with portfolio, that would make much of a sense. It would better you call an election. Well, if you think you can win Andrew Holness, you might just get to choose a new whole set, which isn't compromised as this lot is being compromised. Nothing, no move where you make right now is going to save or protect or bring back the party from the dissolution and the judgment. And we're not careless people over TikTok. We're not careless JLP supporter over TikTok and over Twitter. We don't have shame. Mr. If we not really don't have shame, you can tell we not stand fine. Oh no, we stand to defend the looting and shooting of poor people's money in public. What do you all think the public think of all of you? And someone on the over the boy there, the little rich boy there page. On a claim say on a professional and this and that. Disgraceful professional criminals. Because anyone on JLP supporter can stand up and defend these people who we chose to run our country. Defend them against the wanton stealing, corruption, and criminality in the way they run our country. What a woe for you Jamaican professionals. If that's what we are to expect from some of you all, JLP professionals, then you can understand why the Andrew Holness-led regime got to where it got to and taken the country where it has taken it to. Because Oli Pauno behind the Prime Minister are thieves. Oli Pauno supporters are the same corrupt thieves who are willing to turn a blind eye to even your children's money get taken out of the education budget. You, the people of Jamaica, you, the people of the Jamaica Labour Party, you, the people of the People's National Party, will always go along with the party destruction of the country. And the frightening thing about it, we want a better Jamaica. I don't get that mixed message Warner said. You often say Andrew don't like black people around him. This explain 49, but none fit for minute. This is so classic beat and teach. This is what I'm saying. This shows the collapse around Andrew Holness. You should be able to choose a finance minister from around you without going through all these political maneuvering. What you are saying to the people of Jamaica, there's none around me worthy enough for me to even direct them how to steal. And Nigel Clark has left Jamaica on its face without any care or loyalty. This loyalty will walk and kill Mark Golden over on a daily basis. Mark Golden was going to choose between Britain or Jamaica. Nigel Clark choose between America and Jamaica. And I don't hear a word about loyalty. I don't hear a word about patriotism. When I don't see how it's crumbling labor rights. Do you think you can lie or smear your way or spin your way out of this? The world is seeing it for what it is. If this report came out of a Russian parliament or a Chinese parliament, you dirty, crooked, slimy, old, grimy, criminally aligned Americans, and you nasty old wrong'uns and pedophile British, you would have slashed this all over the global news this morning. If so many politicians in the Russian parliament or the Chinese, the Venezuelan, the Cuban parliament get caught stealing, you, the dirty Western fake news, would plaster this all over your news. But because it's a dictator that will play your nasty political game, it's a dictator that will get bent over and used at its social climbing chosen. No, talk about it. You don't even see wusses and wasses in the Jamaican press. 4 thieves. 4 or 4 thieves in parliament get caught out in public yesterday. And there is nothing in the press representing a breaking story. Nothing in the press representing the collapse of government. Nothing in the press suggesting the country cannot continue with criminal at the helm. Not a word. And nobody know where they bushel them there. Does anyone know where they bushel them there, where them under? To draw out fake news and ask fake news, what to the mouth? Who pay on for shut on the mouth? Or only vloggers can see thieves and criminal about you? What to the mouth? You don't see nothing to talk about. What a disgrace. Look how long we're waiting for the integrity report. Now that we start know who them, the illicit is. Now that we start to know who the illicits are, everybody mouth gone shut. Hey, Jesus. Nobody not talk. How are you doing? Hat everybody know? Well, everybody they just want to turn up on the into and wait. And now that it come, everybody in silence. You see, any one of them lot over there, over Granny Sus, over Big Yard, and a cotton tree, you see none of them? Everybody mouth shut. Let me say to Kevin, whatever chung or fung or myung or pyong that you are, we the political hacks, we're going to talk, because what we are not, what is not happening to us, Dennis, we're not being paid to swirl around and mumble and jumble in public and can't speak the truth because instead we are being paid to spin and twirl the truth, keep the people in the dark, keep the people blinded by lies and narrative. Does anyone know in history where the People's National Party called a by-election in 24 hours of a seat becoming vacant? Because that is the bit that they are missing out on. 24 hours. And shouldn't it be clear to the people of Jamaica that if it is not politically expedient for the Jamaica Labour Party, you will not have true and meaningful representation? Isn't that what this behavior is suggesting? You can't have true and meaningful representation if the Prime Minister thinks his majority is at risk. The fact that this government has no credibility, Parliament should dissolve. Parliament should be dissolved and give the people the chance to choose our future direction. For the people of Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and your 40-odd thieves, there will be no sad farewell of the collapse of your government. It is what the people of Jamaica has been long waiting for because they can't take it no more. When you use your bad man and your gang, them shoot with them, your thief from we, you do everything to our demise. Prime Minister, there will be no sad farewell of your crooked, criminal, corrupt regime. Then you can't understand the mentality of a drunk crowd over Twitter. A lot of over there female where Tatana further and a guan. On the same female where wash the bloody shirt. On the same female where stick the gun in a bra, walk with phone or pick them. On the same female where walk to bank, go bank, the scam money. On the same female where drive the luxury car out of the scamming money. Yes, I honor over there. I defend this crooked government. I honor over there. I defend the thieves. I honor over there. I defend the criminals that this regime is on the Jamaica people. But it no means to become mainstream media. Now, walk and talk, say, we catch a whole government a thief. We catch wife a thief. We catch husband a thief. We catch clerk a thief. We catch president a senate a thief. We catch speaker a house a thief. This is a government in collapse. Only a general election can take this country forward. No matter what spins and chop and change and twist and turn that this government done cannot and will not save the integrity of this government to make them that electable at the next general election. Our country has become an international disgrace, even though the dirty British and the dirty Americans are not go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere that the Jamaican Parliament has been brought down by crooks. The people of Jamaica had suffered under the hands of a dictatorial, corrupt, criminal government that drain their resources, deplete their health care, and destroy their education under the pretense that we are building the economy and the bright and shining armor of the building of our economy has fallen off the ship. The wrecked ship now that we know has hit the iceberg. It's a matter of time, Jamaica, before this ship goes under. It has already hit the iceberg. Remember what we said? A battle we have broke up in the Prime Minister's grave this evening. And we have come back from the people's point of view on the entire group this evening. We choke Katamaka in the, you're not sleep, you're not dead comfortable around you, Prime Minister. If your things say you go in peace, you make a sad mistake. All in your grave will torment you. We dig your grave this morning. We're lying the bottom now with broke battle. We're going to line all four walls when we return later with Kashamaka. You're not rest in a peace, Ronia. Who want to pretend they don't see you? They can't pretend. We see and we hear and we'll go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere, Prime Minister, that there will be no sad farewell. Because we're helping you to dig your grave. You're not digging it fast enough. Ladybug, so if you choke a couple what's in that one, we get a couple queen bees, Prime Minister, because we want to poison you when we bite you. Anybody have a cobra snake? Anything to yam them out. Because you don't have no soul, so you don't feel nothing. When you don't have no soul, So do not feel nothing. Come with a kashamaka later. Anything gonna have, come with it. Wasps, bees. We are going to make sure that this government, this corrupt and crooked government, this crooked and corrupt Jamaica Labour Party is buried from Jamaica politics for good. You think Siaga is dead, Andrew? Hey, look on your setup. If you think Siaga is dead, look on your setup, Prime Minister. You know, so your grave digging big. Are you here, Prime Minister? It's the other round. It's not your darkest night turn to day. It's your bright daylight turn to dark night. You can't even see your hand if you stretch it out in front of you. This is the dark night of your government, Prime Minister. All because of stealing and corruption. Blood on their hands as well. Look at Tom Tavares' hand. You think a tar alone depend Tavares' and look at the blood. Look at the blood, Prime Minister. If you take Tom Tavares' hands and you have it forensically examined, Prime Minister, you would see a lot of dog paws blood. Similarly, Prime Minister, if you have Juliet Holness' hand forensically examined, dog paw blood will appear as well. I wonder if they can sing that a clean hands and a pure in heart. They shall see God. Oh, yes, they shall see God. They shall see. Oh, a clean hands and a pure in heart. Can the Jamaica Labour Party say that, though? Can the Prime Minister and his 49 thieves? Because if one can say clean hands and pure in heart, you would find a finance minister amongst you to name to the public. You wouldn't have to go in a crab hole. You wouldn't have to light buckle torch, Prime Minister, and a push smoke down crab hole. The crab hole run up in your crocus bag. This is where Drive Time London ends this evening. Join us back tonight on The People's Point of View on the entire Global Television Group, where we line the walls of the Prime Minister's grave with kashamaka, cobra, wasps, and bees. Good evening from the Global Television Group, Studio 358 TV. Hold on there. Andre Stevens, good evening. Mr. Rattigan, good evening. What Andre tell you 1 month ago, and who Andre tell you to be careful of 1 month ago, Mr. Rattigan. You and Andre come out here, come talk. Dear both of you. Tread careful, Andre Stevens. I beg of you. Tread carefully. And you, Rattigan, anything Andre tell you, say. Anyone Andre tell you to be careful of, I dare both of you to come out here and speak. Tread careful, Andre Stevens.